Okay.
Here we are. Back again.
I always have a delay on my end.
And we'll always double check to make sure that it's live because we do not trust technology.
Nice. All right. So hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's All Things Health, Healing and Beyond with Lisa and Alicia. Lisa from South Florida and Alicia from Charleston, South Carolina. How is everybody this week? How are you this week, Alicia?
Riding the energy waves.
Oh, yeah.
Going to be a hot month.
Absolutely. A lot of stuff's happening this month, huh?
Absolutely.
I feel a lot of energy. So today we're going to be talking about perception, perspective, and really what's going on to manage the energies a little bit easier that's happening in the collective. So for myself, and for Alicia, I know we stay away from mainstream media information, and we get the information we need from YouTube videos, Rumble, BitChute, MeWe, different areas like that. Telegram is really good. So we're not stuck into the false narratives. And even then, it's really discerning what's what. There's just so much out there. And for myself, when I'm, seeking information from too many sources, it spirals my energy down, right? It keeps me in a place of being pulled. We talked about having our energy fragmented, right? And it's really important now to have ourselves be whole and complete in the power of the present moment now. And Eckhart Tolle has amazing information on the power of now, right? The people who know who Eckhart Tolle is. So really what I'm feeling, and I'll open up to Alicia, is there's so much going on right now. And for so long, the whole world has been in a pull. There's this side and there's this side. And now it's really feeling the energy of you're either all over here or all over here. And it's coming to that middle ground of having a perception and the perspective of what you're hearing and seeing. Because what I'm seeing too, especially for friends also, is that there's so much jargon, like you said, shenanigans, right? Being put out there that I guess as a human emotional being, we try to rationalize and to be able to fit ourselves into whatever the situation is, to be at peace with it so we can stay in that comfort zone. So even if things don't make sense, there's rationalizations going on to why it may be happening. When we're talking about having a perspective, people may see chaos, disruption, a lot of forceful fear coming down. So when you change your perspective, to higher perspective, as I was going to say, from that, instead of looking at, oh, it's chaos and the world is going to end and there's this and there's riots and this and that, look at it from we're rebuilding, we're rejoicing, we're coming together in unity. We're moving into higher levels of consciousness and peace and well-being, because there has to be a disruption for things to evolve. So if you can take whatever narrative that's giving you that uncomfortability and that fear, and it takes some thought. It takes thought, but how can you look at this a different way? That maybe it could be this, and maybe it could be that. And I know for myself and a lot of others, like we were talking about the different polarities, and there is a huge bifurcation, that at this time, a lot of people are stuck on their views on both sides, right? So shit has to hit the fan harder. Absolutely. Right? More stuff has to happen, I believe, for people to either stay where it is or to say, okay, I get God or whoever your higher source is, I'm ready. Let's move this through. What can I do? Maybe you're right, because what's happening is the information that's being put out is getting confused. All the information that has been said is now being taken back and twisted around. So it has to be people are feeling more unsettled, right? They're angry, they're more unsettled, they're fearful, they don't know who to look for or what to do. And, you know, they're trying to figure it out. So before I open up, I want to say, you know, we'll go, you know, with the empathy is that when you're in a situation and you have people, and try to understand where they're coming from, whatever their thought pattern is, but keep the unity. Stay with the love in your heart. Stay with forgiveness, right? Stay with that power of unity and oneness and a higher consciousness, whether you agree or don't agree, because it really has nothing to do with anything. It has to be a higher state of consciousness. And whatever the polarizing situation is always reaching for that higher thought, that gratitude, that appreciation, anything that to bring you up to a higher level. If you're looking at somebody, you know, that you totally disagree with what they're doing at that moment, you can say, well, you know, maybe this person is doing this because they think they're really helping people. They want to be protective. They want to be, you know, loving to others. And switching that narrative in your head and saying, you know, of name calling or being angry or putting down. You know, it's switching that. Where are they really coming from? You know, having that empathy of who they are and what they're trying to accomplish, right? Everybody is on their own journey and on their own path. And, you know, we'll find that higher perspective when the time is right for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially with the world lately, I mean, empathy isn't even enough. Like, I feel like the whole world, the other day I was like, I feel like we all need to go back to elementary school and learn the basics. Be kind. Don't bully others. Don't name call. Like, simple things. But when people are in a fear-based place, nothing rational makes sense. Where, especially if you're plugged into the little black boxes, they're pushing a narrative of fear and division, where if you're not with us, you're against us. It's either this or this. And that is not true. There's always at least a third perspective with any and everything. Any and everything. And they attempt to say, or attempt to seduce us to believe that it's either this or this. And if you're over here, you're over here. Where it's like, no, it's not that simple. But the ego loves simplicity. It loves its stories. It loves its familiarity. It loves its comfort. And it likes to be told what to do. It likes to have that path and that predictability, where people, I'm seeing it more and more, they're starting to get frustrated and they're starting to realize, wait, this story keeps on changing. It's starting to not make sense. But then there's people like you and I, like, from the first time I heard about this global phenomenon on the news last year in January, in my body, it didn't register as true. It was like, okay, this isn't landing right. It's always been that way. Like, I'm able to discern in my body, and I've not regularly been plugged into that other world for over 10 years. Like, I studied journalism, I studied communications, I studied politics. And then I got to this breaking point where I was so disgusted, so disheartened with the world I found myself in, where it was like, nobody said it was like this. And then I went through that dark night of the soul, looking for the rest of the story, looking at, why is the world so fucked up? Who is responsible for this? How the hell did we get here? And that is a whole big can of worms that I know right now people are starting to ask questions. They're starting to follow where the money goes. They're starting to look at who funds certain letter agencies. They're starting to look at some of these conflicts of interests and look at these things, and it's not making sense. It doesn't feel right. And then there's this other side, if we're talking about, where it's just like, I just want to live my life. Like, I'll take care of me, you take care of you. Let's just respect each other and, like, let that be it. Mm-hmm. But with what the TV is saying, it's like there's not that option given to stand back, you know, let me do me, where they want to put us in these little boxes, and, like, it doesn't work like that. Like, nothing is that simple, nothing is that clean cut, and we just have this whole dynamic of push and pull, not even power versus force, it's force and counter force. And it's language of force and manipulation on the TV. Then we see people out blaming, shaming, condemning, criticizing others. And let me ask you, it's like, when in your life have you ever positively changed after somebody blamed you, shamed you, came at you like that? Never, never, ever, ever.
Right.
Like, ever. And that's what the world is in, this counterforce and force, push and pull. And we have to have empathy for the people that are in push and pull and choosing to be in push and pull. They might not realize they don't have to be. You and I, we're not playing that game. We're not playing this fear-based game. Do this, do that. No, we listen to our souls. We stay in our sovereignty. We're playing a completely different game. There's a completely different path. And I have empathy for people wherever they are on the journey. And it has been so, so, so freeing.
Yes.
So freeing. And having that empathy for self has made it easier to have empathy for others. And I'll wrap up with a metaphor I know I've shared before, and I'll share it again. But imagine everybody as being about 5 years old, kindergarten, preschool, 4K, out on the playground of life. And right now we've got people that are scared. We've got people that aren't scared. We've got people running around, tripping, falling. We've got the whole spectrum. We've got people that just want to go play ball over here. But holding compassion for people. And when you find yourself triggered, go back to that 5-year-old version of them and the 5-year-old version of yourself. When you start to get seduced into that force and counterforce, getting frustrated, mad, upset, etc., really just going back to, okay, that some inner need of security, that's why they're acting out. I can appreciate having that feeling of security. I can be empathetic. And what the big struggle for people is now, they're looking out here, everywhere else, for that sense of safety and security that can actually only truly come from within. And that source to connection, source to power, source to God. But when people are looking anywhere and everywhere else, and with how loud all of these things are talking out there, it can be really, really easy to get pulled away from your center, especially if you're not really strong in that area. So be compassionate for yourself, take care of yourself first and foremost, and empathy for all.
Absolutely. That was beautiful. It was beautiful. Thank you. Yes. And it is going to get louder out there, and things are coming out harder. And like you said, there is another way. You could be affected by that, or you can go inward and know your truth and have your sovereignty and not be affected, right? And hold true. And if anything is bringing up any kind of fear, that's not a higher place to be, right? So you want to come back to love, and that's when you should start questioning and really taking a look. And if not, just be with your higher guidance. And that's what Alicia and I and many, many other people are here to assist you with, is to getting back to that connection. And with any kind of confusion, we both have had clients, we've had healing sessions, and there's a lot of chaos, and people just want to come back home. There's a lot of confusion, and they're not even able to make simple decisions themselves because they're getting sucked with this negative energy. So with that, what I want to do first, I'm going to go in and do a channeling for a collective, but I would like to do a blessing for everybody really quickly first, because I feel that we just need to breathe and to have a bit of calmness. So with this blessing, what I'm actually going to do is, everybody who's watching, it'll only take a half of a minute. Close your eyes. I'm going to tune in. And then when I am done, I will tell you I'm done. I'll tell you when I'm going to start blessing and then when I'm done. Okay, so everybody please close your eyes and take a deep breath. Again, take a deep breath. Again, one more deep breath. Okay, sit there with your eyes closed. And here it comes. Jagerdev. You can open your eyes when you feel ready. If you're in a space of calmness, stay there until you feel the release to open your eyes. You may feel tingling coming down through your crown chakra, going down to your spine, or just a sense of well-being. So with that, I'm just going to do light language. Take this in at the core of your body. Bikiniya sanashitiya patiya satikaniya takoi shimit kara joishinat kriashkira papa satikaniya shakaniya takarash koroshkiniya paka sienat kriashkiniya tarashkiniya taroshkiriya kasakiriashkiriya sienat koroshkiniya kakiyana sakarash katina sapatakanoshkiniya takasikitikino Loyana Sashakata Sakana Pakatisakin Nashakotakia Sakataka Shakandakataka Shakitakashkiriashkiria Karakita Koroski Tikata Takarashko Tikin Nakata Karashkonia Patikinasko Shikinia Takoshki Papakasikia Yanakito Sigirashkira Samata Loshin Aska Shakania Sakarashkira Papa Sakria Tarashkina Papa Paskania Tarashkia Tarashida So with that, brought in a lot of peace up and down from your galactic star chakra down. Increasing, we have a chakra system, changing the formation to a more crystalline 5D chakra down with Archangel Sandalphon down to inner earth, coming up through the base, back up and back down, moving a little bit again of the cerebral spinal fluid and Kundalini energy. So it's allowing more peace and flow to open up these centers, to allow peace, awakening, truth, and love back in the higher vibration of God consciousness and unity consciousness, holding the light and the grid, the light for this planet. And now, just really briefly, the Lionsgate portal has opened June 28th to August 12th. August 8th is a very high day to tune in, tap into the collective for healing the planet, for your own manifestations and opportunities to come about. And really what everybody has the ability to do right now is every day, ask, what is for my highest good right now? What do I need to do? And please show me how I can serve and how to do it. And you can ask a question, make it specific, and you're going to get the answer. But believe what you're hearing. Everybody not everybody, people that we grew up with say imagination. Imagination is not real. Imagination is very real. Imagination is able to bring us to that higher levels of consciousness. So when you're hearing something, don't doubt it. If you're seeing little flashes, don't doubt it. If you're hearing a sign from a book, music, a phone call, a person, listen, right? If you're imagining something or you're daydreaming or you have a memory, listen to it, right? Stay focused on that because if you're being spoken to, right? And be mindful, last thing, be mindful of the numbers you see, whether it's 1111, 222, 444, things like that, because that's your higher guidance speaking with you. Okay, I wish everybody a wonderful week, and please reach out to either one of us. If you need any assistance with anything, we're both here for you. All right, everybody have a great day.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye for now. Bye.